Drivers in the United States waste up to 30% more fuel each year through habits that quietly increase gas station profits. Today, you will learn proven fuel-saving methods that require no gimmicks, no miracle products, and nothing to buy. These changes stretch every gallon, reduce engine wear, and can save hundreds of dollars annually. Stay until the end, because the first tip costs gas stations the most profit, and almost no one discusses it. Tip 13. Skip drafting and aggressive driving. If you have seen a driver riding inches behind a semi-truck on the highway, you have witnessed drafting in real life. It looks daring, feels fast, and turns perfectly good cars into twisted metal. Drafting works in professional racing because drivers have helmets, spotters, radio communication, and teams watching every move. On American highways, you have a seatbelt, potholes, distracted drivers, and a truck driver who has no idea you are glued to their bumper. Aggressive drivers burn significantly more fuel than calm, predictable drivers. According to the US Department of Energy, hard acceleration and sudden braking cut fuel economy by 15 to 30%. Drafting takes the risk further. Yes, following closely behind a large truck can reduce aerodynamic drag, but to see any meaningful fuel savings, you would have to be just a few feet behind a vehicle that weighs up to 80,000 pounds. At that distance, your reaction time is less than a second, even at what most people consider a safer distance. Drafting only saves about 1 to 3% in fuel. One blown tire, one sudden brake tap, and you do not have time to react. Smooth, steady driving is cheaper, safer, and far more efficient. You arrive at the same destination, just without cooking your fuel tank in the process. Tip 12. Anticipate traffic patterns. Rushing through traffic and slamming brakes drains your gas tank fast. Gas stations quietly profit from this driving style because every abrupt stop and aggressive launch burns extra fuel. Anticipation completely changes the game. When you scan farther down the road, instead of staring at the bumper ahead, you spot red lights earlier, brake lights sooner, and slowdowns before they surprise you. Instead of charging toward a red light, you lift off the throttle and coast. Instead of braking hard at the last second, you let momentum work for you. Research from MIT and the US Department of Energy shows smoother driving improves fuel economy by 10 to 40% in city traffic. The American Automobile Association found that speeding, weaving through lanes, and aggressive driving save an average of just 26 seconds on a typical daily commute. Almost no time is saved, yet fuel consumption increases noticeably. Anticipating traffic also reduces wear on your engine, transmission, and brakes, keeping repair bills lower. Think of it as defensive driving with a financial reward. Fewer surprises, less stress, and a fuel gauge that drops much more slowly. Tip 11. Match cooling method to speed. Using the wrong cooling method drains your tank faster than most drivers realize. At low speeds, especially in city driving, air conditioning places an additional load on the engine. That extra demand increases fuel consumption by 15 to 30%, particularly during hot American summers. Blasting the AC on short city trips quietly eats away at your mileage. Everything changes at highway speeds above roughly 55 to 60 miles per hour. Open windows create serious aerodynamic drag, like towing a parachute behind your car. At that point, running the AC becomes more fuel efficient. The US Department of Energy tested this directly. At higher speeds, using air conditioning, especially in recirculation mode, consumes less fuel than driving with windows down. In city traffic, slightly open windows are usually smarter. On the highway, close the windows and use the AC. Tip 10. Avoid extended idling. If you want to watch your fuel disappear without going anywhere, just let your car idle. No warning lights, no noise, no movement, just a steady stream of fuel consumed while you sit parked. Modern vehicles do not need long warm-ups. That habit comes from the carburetor era, not today's fuel-injected engines. Most modern engines stabilize within seconds of starting. Letting your car idle for 5 or 10 minutes does not protect the engine. It simply wastes fuel. According to the US Environmental Protection Agency, idling burns between a quarter and half a gallon of fuel per hour, depending on engine size. Over a year, especially during winter mornings and long waits, that easily adds up to $100 to $150 burned for nothing. Idling also causes engines to run rich, which leads to carbon buildup, rough operation, clogged components, and reduced engine life. all while the vehicle is not moving an inch. If you are stopped for more than about 10 seconds, shutting the engine off uses less fuel than letting it idle. Restarting consumes far less fuel than most people think. Tip 9. Maintain clean air filters. If you want to make a gas station richer without driving a single extra mile, just let your air filter clog up and forget it exists. No one at the pump will warn you. A dirty air filter quietly sends you back to refuel sooner and more often. Your engine needs clean air as much as it needs clean fuel. When the filter fills with dust, pollen, leaves, insects, and road debris, airflow drops. The engine works harder just to breathe. Less air means a richer air-fuel mixture, and richer combustion means more fuel burned to produce the same power. In older vehicles, a clogged air filter can reduce fuel economy by up to 10%. Newer engines mask the problem better with sensors and computers, but the loss still appears as slower throttle response, weaker acceleration, rough idle, and carbon buildup that pushes fuel consumption higher over time. Gas stations profit because most drivers forget the air filter even exists. Many go 20,000 or even 30,000 miles without checking it. That means more wasted fuel, more stops at the pump, and more profit. To avoid falling into that trap, inspect your air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles. Hold it up to the light. If you cannot see light through it, your engine cannot breathe through it either. Tip 8. Check tire pressure monthly. Low tire pressure is one of the sneakiest ways gas stations make money without lifting a finger. You do not hear it. You barely feel it. Your car often will not warn you until the damage is already done. Yet every mile driven on underinflated tires forces your engine to burn more fuel than necessary. When tire pressure drops, even slightly, the tire spreads out more against the road. That increases rolling resistance, which means the engine works harder just to keep the car moving at the same speed. Lose only 5 to 10 pounds per square inches, and you can see up to a 3% drop in fuel economy. The scary part is that many drivers unknowingly drive like this for months. The tire pressure warning light does not usually activate until pressure is about 25% below the recommended level. By the time that icon lights up on the dashboard, you have already wasted significant fuel. Gas stations count on drivers trusting that warning light instead of checking tire pressure themselves. Check your tire pressure once a month, and always when the tires are cold. Use the recommended PSI listed on the driver's door jamb, not the number printed on the tire sidewall. Tip 7. Skip premium gasoline unless required. Premium fuel sounds impressive on the pump label, and gas stations profit from that perception. Higher price, higher profit, and for most vehicles, absolutely no benefit. Premium gasoline is not cleaner, not more powerful, and does not improve fuel economy. Its only purpose is to resist engine knock in high compression or turbocharged engines designed to need it. If your owner's manual does not say premium required, the extra money you pay is nothing more than a tip to the gas station. The American Automobile Association tested this across multiple vehicles and found no measurable improvement in performance, fuel economy, or engine longevity in cars that only recommend premium fuel. Yet, many drivers still waste hundreds of dollars every year chasing a benefit that does not exist. Stick with regular fuel unless your engine explicitly demands premium. If the manual says recommended but not required, save your money. Your engine will run the same and your wallet will stay heavier. Tip 6. Remove excess weight and roof racks. Few things drain fuel faster than forcing your car to haul unnecessary weight and fight bad aerodynamics. Every forgotten item in your trunk is a silent tax on your fuel economy. Old tools, sports equipment, and emergency gear you do not need. Daily, all of it makes the engine work harder. On average, every extra 100 pounds can reduce fuel economy by about 1%. That sounds small until you add it up over months of driving. Roof racks are worse. Even when completely empty, crossbars and cargo boxes disrupt airflow like giant air brakes. At highway speeds, they can reduce fuel efficiency by 10 to 25%. In the United States alone, empty roof racks waste over 100 million gallons of fuel every year. Only carry what you actually need. Remove roof racks when not using them. Keep cargo inside the car instead of on the roof whenever possible. Tip 5. Tighten your gas cap. Your biggest fuel leak may not be a visible leak at all. It might just be a poorly tightened gas cap. A loose cap looks harmless, but it allows fuel vapor to escape every hour your car sits. That vapor loss is invisible and silent and forces you to refuel sooner without ever seeing fuel hit the ground. Vehicles can lose up to 30 gallons of fuel per year from vapor loss caused by a loose or damaged gas cap. That is an entire tank gone without driving a single mile. When the gas cap is not sealed properly, the evaporative emission system cannot hold pressure. That triggers common EVAP codes like P457, P456, P442, and P455. 9 times out of 10, the problem is the gas cap itself. A cracked seal, worn threads, or a damaged filler neck can cause rough running, stalling, or incorrect fuel mixtures. Twist the cap until it clicks. Check it every time you fill up and replace it if the seal looks worn. A $12 gas cap can save hundreds in wasted fuel and unnecessary EVAP repairs. Tip 4. Use adaptive cruise control on the highway. The steadier your speed, the less fuel you waste, and nothing keeps speed steadier than adaptive cruise control. Most drivers do not realize how much fuel they lose from tiny speed fluctuations. Drifting between 55 and 65 miles per hour feels harmless, but every small increase forces the engine to demand more fuel, and every slowdown throws away momentum you already paid for at the pump. Adaptive cruise control eliminates that. It locks in a constant speed, automatically maintains a safe following distance, and removes the constant braking and hard reacceleration that can increase fuel consumption by 10 to 20% on long highway drives. Tip 3. Use correct motor oil viscosity. When your engine runs on the proper oil thickness, it glides instead of fighting itself, and the engine struggles during cold starts, wasting energy and fuel. Too thin, and protection drops once temperatures rise, increasing friction under load. Either mistake forces the engine to work harder, and the harder it works, the faster fuel disappears. When drivers switch from a thicker oil to the correct lower viscosity, full synthetic, fuel economy improves by 1 to 2% immediately. Tip 2. Use engine and fuel system cleaners. The dirtier your injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers become, the faster your fuel tank empties. Inside every engine, carbon deposits build layer by layer. Fuel injectors stop spraying evenly. Valves do not seal as tightly. Combustion weakens. You will not notice it in a single drive, but over a few months, the signs appear. Rough idle, lazy acceleration, and fuel economy that drops without triggering any warning lights. Vehicles can lose between 5 and 15% of their fuel economy from dirty injectors alone. Products containing polyethyramine, known as PEA, are the key. PEA-based cleaners, like Techron, Regain, and Redline SI1, break down carbon deposits that basic pump detergents cannot touch. Better spray patterns lead to better combustion and fewer trips to the gas station. Engine treatments matter too. Cleaning the crankcase and freeing up sticky piston rings restores compression, reduces oil consumption, and brings lost power back. Run a PEA fuel system cleaner every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, and consider an engine treatment before oil changes on older vehicles. Tip 1. Never run empty and never overfill. This is the secret gas stations guard the hardest. Inside your fuel tank sits the fuel pump, and that pump relies on gasoline for cooling and lubrication. When you constantly drive on fumes, the pump runs hotter than it should. Heat kills fuel pumps. When it fails, you face a repair that can easily exceed $1,500. The opposite mistake, topping off after the pump clicks, is a silent goldmine for gas stations. Many pumps in the United States use vapor recovery systems. Every extra squeeze after the click often does not go into your tank at all. It gets pulled back into the station's recovery system while you still pay for it. You lose fuel, you lose money, and sometimes you damage your paint from overflow. Worse yet, overfilling forces raw fuel into the EVAP system. When the charcoal canister becomes saturated, it fails. EVAP repairs commonly range from $1,000 to $2,500. Refill when you hit about a quarter tank, and stop immediately when the pump clicks. That single habit protects your fuel pump, preserves your emission system, and saves money at every fill. There you have it. 13 simple changes that cost nothing but can save you hundreds of dollars every year at the pump. No special products, no complicated modifications, Just smarter habits that gas stations would rather you never learn about. Check your tire pressure monthly. Keep that air filter clean. Stop topping off after the click. Use the right oil. These basics alone stretch every tank significantly further. Gas stations profit when you stay uninformed. Now you know better. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe to AutoSmart for more no-nonsense automotive advice. Drop a comment and tell me which tip surprised you most or which one you will try first. Share this with anyone who complains about fuel costs, because the best way to beat high prices is to stop wasting what you already paid for. Thanks for watching. Drive smart, save money, and I will see you in the next video.